today I'm going to do a video about how to grow your hair longer and faster. So as not to be too deceiving or deceiving at all, I say faster as like a relative term. What I mean by that is your hair will grow faster using these tips than if you were not to use these tips. Now your hair grows at a rate that is personalized to you, so I'm not saying I'm going to be able to increase that rate. I'm just saying if you implement these tips, then you're going to see results quicker than if you weren't to use these tips. So with that said, I'm just going to jump into the video, and I have a little list here. So if I'm looking down, that's why I'm looking at the list, because I didn't want to leave anything out. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is your ends. Now these are the oldest part of your hair, your ends, and so they're the driest, they're the most brittle, and obviously prone to breakage and splitting. So what I suggest for that is to always make sure that your ends are clipped. I suggest getting hair shears that are sharp and not using these for anything other than cutting your hair, because you don't want to dull the blade, because then you don't want to be cutting your hair with a dull pair of scissors. I don't think you necessarily have to trim your hair at certain intervals, like a set every 2 months I'm going to trim my ends. I think when your hair needs a trim, you look at your ends and you trim your ends. If your hair you have a few bad apples, then go ahead and cut them and get them out of the way and move on. So yeah, that's key, taking care of your ends. Moving on to protective styling. Now I get questions about what does that mean? What is a protective style? And basically what that is making sure your ends aren't exposed to the environment. And as the seasons change, particularly in the winter months when it's cold and the air is dry, your hair becomes dry and brittle and prone to breakage. So a protective style keeps your ends tucked so that they don't get any drier than they are, because they're the ends of your hair. So one go-to style that I always go to is a bun. And I'll just put my hair up in a ponytail, kind of a high ponytail, and then I'll wrap my hair around itself and then just put a hair tie and go. It's super simple, it's really cute, and it's a protective style. I don't have to worry about anything. And if you guys want a tutorial on protective hairstyles, then like this video and I could probably do that for you too. So moving on to moisturizers. Now, depending on your hair type, if you have fine hair, if you have thick hair, you're going to have to adjust the moisturizer so that you're not overwhelming your hair, especially if you have straight hair. But since my hair is pretty durable, it's thick and it's coarse, I can get away with using this olive oil and mango butter moisturizer. I learned about this on YouTube from Healthy Hair Mission and Tracy from Kiss, and Shorty Too Sweet. She has this, and it's just like it smells really good. It's just a cream. What I would do is every night or 2 to 3 nights out of the week, I put a little bit in the palm of my hand, rub it together, and just concentrate that onto my ends. And I'll do it on both sides. And what that's doing is putting moisture back into my ends, back into my hair, and it's softening it up so that it's not getting dry and brittle, which dry, brittle leads to breakage, and breakage means that your hair is not showing length. Your hair is always growing from the roots, but to see that your hair is growing or getting longer, you have to maintain your length, and that's what moisturizing your ends do. Now after you add the moisturizer, you want to seal in the moisture, and you can do that with an oil. The oil of choice that I use, you can use olive oil, you can use coconut oil. This is coconut oil. You can use almond oil, whatever oil you think works best for your hair. I use this organic virgin coconut oil. I rub it in the palm of my hand and I work it throughout my ends, and I do that on both sides of my hair. So yeah, and then also, if you watched my September favorites video, I'll link that right here. I talked about the essential oils. I use pure lavender and peppermint oil. Now every single night I will pour lavender, like 2 to 3 drops of lavender, and then 1 to 2 drops of peppermint oil in the palm of my hand, rub it together, and just give myself a scalp massage. Like, I'll just work it into my scalp all over. And what lavender does is it promotes hair growth by stimulating the hair follicle, and then peppermint oil just kind of gives us this cooling, like breezy, like, I don't know, refreshing effect that I really enjoy. I try not to comb my hair too much, but when I do, I make sure I use a wide tooth comb. So you don't want to be using anything like this. You want to make sure you're using this to detangle your hair or whatever you need to do. Just make sure you're using a wide tooth comb. Shampooing. I personally don't shampoo my hair. I use a cleansing cream. I use Win, and I use something that's comparable to Win. It's like a cheaper version, so I like Win so expensive that I just kind of save it for certain times. But it's just a cleansing cream, and it's also doubles as a leave-in conditioner. So instead of using shampoo, I just use this cleansing cream once a week, and that doesn't have any sulfates in it. And sulfates are what is the main ingredient in most shampoos, which is what is in causes your hair to lather and foam, and it strips your hair of the moisture to get rid of, as it's getting rid of the dirt. My hair, I don't need to strip it of the moisture of the oils that it produces, because my hair doesn't produce very much of it, and what it does produce, I'd like to keep it. So what the cleansing cream does is gently cleanse your hair without stripping it of the natural moisture that it has. Next up is a conditioner and deep conditioning. Now I use the Honeysuckle Rose Moisturizing Conditioner. I saw this on YouTube, of course, by Hair Crush. She was the first one that introduced me to this, and it took me a while to get on board with it. But I have to tell you that this is the best conditioner I've ever tried. It leaves my hair so soft, like it's hair. And this can be used as a deep conditioner or just as a co-wash, which is when you're in between washes and you wash your hair with the conditioner. Or it can just be used as a conditioner you put in the shower and then rinse right out. It has multiple uses. So if I need to deep condition my hair just for moisture or something, I will use this, and I might add oils or something to it for my deep conditioner, and I'll leave it on from anywhere from 45 minutes to overnight, depending on what my hair needs or what I'm doing. I'll just put it all over my hair, slather it, put my hair in like a bun, and put a plastic cap over it, and deep condition for as long as I need to. I also use a mask, hair mask, when I need to deep condition, and this one particularly is a Shea Moisture anti-breakage mask. But I have a bunch of deep conditioners and I have a bunch of regular conditioners, so the point of it is take any conditioner that you have and leave it on for an extended amount of time. Usually I do it 1 to 2 times a week, and that's just replenishing the moisture back into your hair. So that's the whole point of conditioning and deep conditioning. Okay, and so the next thing is heat styling products. As you guys know from my blow drying video with chocolate, and I'll link that right here, that I blow dry my hair and I use a flat iron on my hair. It's sad but true, and it's not good for your hair, especially if you do it all the time. So like with anything in moderation, it's not going to be good for your hair, but it won't totally kill it. So if you are somebody who blow dries your hair every day, you flat iron every day, use a curling iron every day, stop. And you're trying to grow your hair and you're not seeing results, that's why. Heat breaks down your hair, it dries your hair, and then when you have dry hair, it's brittle hair, and then what? It's prone to breakage and split ends, and so you're not going to see the retention of length, right? So if you absolutely have to, like I feel like I do, use heat products or heat tools, then you need to use some type of thermal protectant, and I usually only straighten my hair every 3 weeks. so I'm not putting heat in it all the time. So I'm not saying cut out heat altogether. I'm saying just really evaluate how often you're putting it in your hair, and if you cut that in half, you're going to see a difference in your hair. I guarantee you. I hate to make guarantees, but I almost guarantee that you're going to see a difference in your hair if you cut out on the heat. Next thing, also chemicals in your hair, like dyeing your hair is really bad for your hair. It strips your hair, it makes it dry, it makes it brittle, prone to breakage. So if you are dyeing your hair often and you're not retaining length and your hair is just dull and lackluster, then I'd really reconsider dyeing my hair, and maybe trying a rinse and perhaps henna. I have dyed my hair with henna before, and if you guys want to see a video about how I've done that, or a tutorial, then just let me know in the comments below. I'm not going to talk about it for too much here, but that is also an option, using henna, which has no chemicals in it, to dye your hair. Also, let's see, moving on to vitamins. These vitamins, these are the Women's Complete Multivitamins, and they just have a ton of things in them, particularly biotin, which biotin and collagen. Collagen supports the elastin in your hair, elasticity of your hair, and then biotin helps to strengthen your hair and rebuild it. So you can get biotin in a multivitamin like this. It has a lot less in it, but if you get just the biotin vitamins, it's going to be somewhere like, I think, 1,000 mcg. These are just 300. And what biotin does, it's going to strengthen your hair. It's not going to make it grow faster. It's going to strengthen your hair so that when it is exposed to like the harsh environments, like I said, in the winter months, or heat and all these things that we do to our hair, it just has that extra strength to combat it, and it's not broken down so fast by the things that we do to it. So last but not least is water, and I'm looking for my water bottle because I always have water on hand. Anytime you're hydrating yourself, you're hydrating your hair. I think oftentimes we forget that what we put on the inside of our body reflects how we are on the outside, and I think it's the same thing with hair. If you're drinking a lot of water, you're going to see that your hair is probably more moisturized, healthier, and perhaps growing faster. I just don't think that there's any downside to drinking water, so that's why I'm telling you to make sure you just incorporate that into your diet, and of course eating good and exercise. I'm pretty sure won't have an adverse effect on your hair. I can only see it doing good things to your hair. So yeah, that's everything that I have on my list here. If you guys have any more questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I will do my best to answer them. And if you want to leave a video response with your tips, I would love to see those as well. And until my next video, I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.